Welcome back to Unposed. This episode has been titled and retitled more times than I can even count. And I think it's just because I don't feel like the words take up space do this conversation justice. And that could be for a few reasons. Maybe it feels cliche or overused, or it could be because the thought of taking up space has this negative energy with it. So I keep asking myself, why do I not like the title of this episode? What happens when women take up space? And I think for me, there's this negativity. If I'm taking up space, is that making other people uncomfortable? Is it taking away from them? Or maybe even, do I have permission to take up space? And we're going to get into all of that. But first, I want to offer you permission to take up space. Just maybe not in the way you've been picturing it. Today's conversation with Paige is so much fun. Fair warning, we do not stop laughing. Like my cheeks were hurting when we were done. They're hurting right now from just editing all of it and getting it all put together. And honestly, I hope yours do too by the end of it. But underneath the laughter, this conversation is about something deeper. What happens when women stop shrinking and what it actually looks like to let yourself be seen. So for now, even if I don't love the title, that's what we're calling it. What happens when women take up space? And if you have a better title after listening, will you please let me know? It's so fun to have you as a guest when you've been so many things to me.
I know. We have model, assistant, friend,
Right.
and now podcast co-host.
It's perfect. It's perfect. So first, I would just want you to introduce yourself. I think this is such an important part because as I've done this podcast, I'm like, I could introduce people and be like, this is who Paige is to me. But I want you to introduce yourself. Like tell us who you are.
Who is Paige? So my name is Paige. I'm currently 33. I work in people operations and human resources. I've done that for quite a while. I fell into it. I've also worked as Adina's assistant. You've probably seen my butt.
Oh my God, I have so many stories to tell.
Oh yeah, we've been all over the Instagram, the behind the scenes. A lot of you have met me, and yeah, I was born and raised in Colorado, and we're just living life at this moment.
Living life.
We're doing our best.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. That's best we can do.
Okay, what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I hate to say I love going to the gym because it's like not fun, but it's fun.
Okay. Yeah,
So I like going to the gym, but I love paddleboarding. I love being outside, going on walks. I love an Aperol spritz with my best friend. I like to read. I like to garden. I like to bake.
I was just going to say, you were going to say something about baking, right?
Love baking. I love baking. Bread is my favorite thing to bake. It's like Play-Doh. You just mold it and squish it, and sometimes when the dough comes out, you can punch it. Yeah, it's the best part.
If you follow Paige, you know, you were waiting for her to say punch.
There's always a dough punch. I'm ready to go. I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
We could put a picture of your ex there, and I'll punch it for you.
Perfect.
I need to start charging people.
Yes. Like a subscription.
Yeah.
I get 3 faces a week.
Three faces a week, and I'll punch it for you and post it on the internet.
Yes, exactly. How do we know each other?
How do we know each other? Well, the first time we met, I was dancing for Colorado Crush.
Yep.
It was Ice at the time. And you were doing our calendar team photos.
Yes.
And my teammate is your neighbor, who I've also grown up with dancing.
Yep.
So we had a weird connection because of that. Just in general, we were always just in the same proximity with each other, which is kind of crazy.
So crazy.
And then...
Like you worked at my favorite Starbucks, right?
I did. I worked at your favorite Starbucks right across the street.
But I didn't know her.
No, had no idea. And then we just kind of clicked.
Yep.
We had this really great kind of friendship right off the bat, though we didn't really know it. You know, it was like, I remember taking the pictures for the team and talking to you and being like, I want to do more with you. I want this is so fun. I'm enjoying myself. I've never done it before. I know that we're going to have a good relationship of some sort. And then you needed a model because you wanted to show the background of here's what goes on in the backside of the business. Here's the experience. So everybody knows what it's like. And I want you to be my model. And I want you to just be your authentic self. I was like, okay, great. I was just going through a breakup, so I was having a great time.
Perfect,
it was perfect timing.
We went shopping together.
Up in Boulder. We had a great time.
So fun.
Which is so funny because it's like we've just kind of met and I'm like, here's my boobs.
Yep.
Help me put a bra on.
Yep. I'm like, put this on, Paige.
Put this on. This looks
really
good.
Great.
This looks good.
Yep.
Yeah. We just had so much fun and the shoot was super fun. And we've done 7 shoots since then.
I was going to count and honestly, Paige, I think it's going to be more than that. We're going to follow up with you on that.
We'll
put that in the end of this.
Because I also was going to count and I was like, I think we're past like at least 8. Probably more.
Yeah.
Especially when I became your assistant and you were like, I want to try something.
It would be like
get naked.
A Tuesday morning. And I'm like, will you bring a bra and panty set?
I was like, sure. Why not?
If we count all of those, we're in trouble.
We're in the 20s.
Yes. So when I knew I needed an assistant, I was like, I want Paige. Paige is very overqualified to be my assistant. Like very. So eventually though, she was in a position where she wasn't working. And I was like, wait, can I have you now?
I was like,
and so I stole her for just a sweet little bit.
Yeah, it was perfect. But
it was
so fun.
I think you're actually still on my payroll where it's just like anytime I need you, I can just be like, Paige. One of my favorite things too is that people recognize you that follow me or are my clients or whatever. I had a client come in from Vegas to do her maternity shoot with me. And she was in Old Town. Oh. And when I saw her that day to do her shoot, she goes, I saw your assistant in Old Town today. I was like, oh, seriously?
I didn't even know that.
I was like, and I don't ever have to say, are you sure it was her?
Yeah.
Because we all know Paige.
Wait, everybody knows Paige. Everybody's also, like I said, you've seen my butt.
Yeah.
You've seen so many angles of me.
And then one of my sweet friends that I go to church with, she walks up to me on a Sunday and she was like, I have to tell you a story. And she's like telling me that how she was getting her nails done.
Oh, yeah.
And she kept looking at you and she's like, I know her.
Oh, I do remember her. She came up to me. She had her daughter with her.
Yep.
I think. And she was like, you know Adina, right? I was like, yes. And she was like, I'm so sorry. This is so awkward. And I was like, no, it's not.
Well, and she's telling me at church and she's like, I literally am looking at her. I'm like, why do I feel like I've seen her naked? And then
because you have.
And then she was like, oh, she's one of Adina's ladies. And then she's like, I made you sound like a madam.
I'm a lady.
And we're standing in church talking and I'm like,
I mean, listen, if you were a madam, best madam ever.
Right?
Like, I mean, technically you were my boss. So in a roundabout
Madam
way,
Adina?
Yeah.
I mean,
I kind of like it.
Okay. I will say, we all love you so much.
Oh,
my clients, my followers, every time I post you, like freaking Stacy, she'll be like, Paige!
Stacy, my queen.
But there's this energy that you have that you bring into every room that you come into. And it's just this like, it's amazing.
Thank you.
And I could say that for everybody who's ever met you is that you're bringing in this like big, bold, that's what I wrote down, energy. And it's contagious. And that's why we love it.
It's fun.
Maybe that is why we love it, right? Because some people walk in with a big, bold energy and you're like, ugh. But like when you walk in with it, you're bringing us into it.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool. So I just want to brag on you a little bit because we love your energy. We just all love you so much.
I love you so much.
Tell me this. Do you feel like you've always been that way?
Oh, good question. I don't think so. I think growing up, I did have a little bit of a timid personality.
Okay.
Especially in comparison to my sister. If anybody knows my middle sister, she has the big personality. She has always been very loud and boisterous and just unapologetically herself. And I was always kind of like, okay, you can tone it down just a little bit. And then you learn, like, I don't want to tone that down. It's beautiful and it's perfect and it's wonderful. And I can also do that. And I can also be big and bold and have a big personality. And I find that people, like you said, they respond well to it.
Yeah.
And so growing up, I started more timid. And as I got through high school and into college, and I went to work for the Walt Disney Company. And that's all personality. That's all, everybody there is a personality hire. You have to be big and bold and be able to talk to people. And especially when you're in entertainment, you have to give them so much energy.
For sure.
And so you have to kind of take up this big space, especially if you're a character.
Yeah.
Right? You're
absolutely.
literally a Disney character that's somebody else. And so I think for me, it was something I learned how to do.
Okay.
And I learned how to kind of manage it in a way that, like you said, it's not walking in and being self-absorbed in the way that it's like, I am big and I'm bold and I'm beautiful and everybody else bow down to me. It's like,
Yeah.
I walk in and I want to be your friend. I want to know about you. I want you to know this person and that person to know you. And I want everybody to have a good time. And it's okay to bring people into your space.
Yeah.
Like, I can take up space and I can also bring them into that space and make the space bigger.
Like, you can share it.
Exactly. It's more
Right?
fun that way.
It's way more fun
that way.
Yes. Oh my, yeah, I love that. So I feel like you did kind of watch your sister have that personality. And although you wanted to like tame it a little, you admired it.
Always.
And then to go into this next stage of your life and be like, I can actually lean into that a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah. You learned it, you admired it, and you stepped into it. When do you feel most like yourself?
Oh, that's such a good question. I really struggled with that growing up because I'm the oldest child of 3 girls. And as the oldest child, you kind of try to do everything for everybody else.
Yeah.
You tend to caretake. You tend to, be whatever everybody else wants you to be. And the first time that I made a choice for myself was going to college.
Okay.
I decided I'm going to Colorado State up in Fort Collins. And the second one was I decided to move to California and work for Disney. And I was the first one in my family to graduate, the first one in my family to leave the state and go elsewhere. And that is when you start discovering, I mean, all of a sudden you're by yourself in another state or at another school and your parents aren't there and your siblings aren't there. And you're like, holy crap.
Like, you don't have to do anything for anybody else. You literally just have to do for you.
Exactly. And what is that? Like, I
do
don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to sit here and go, what do I want to do? And so it was kind of this big reality check of like, what is Paige like? What does Paige want? What does Paige need?
Yeah.
And so one thing that I tell people, especially younger people, is learn how to be alone because it forces you to decide for yourself what it is that you want and what it is that you like, what you don't like. And that's hard.
Yeah.
I still struggle with it. I still have a hard time saying, what does Paige need in this moment?
Well, especially because of your personality of wanting to take care of people and like fill in spaces for them, you have to pull back and you have to be alone.
Right. So when I feel most like myself is when I'm honestly having these moments by myself where I'm gardening or I'm baking. It's kind of a meditative state of I'm just doing what I want to do and I'm in this space. It's my space only. And particularly with stuff like gardening or baking, like I'm the maker. I put things where I want them. I put things, I fold the dough in a certain way or I put this plant over here. And it's very, very, like I said, meditative in that you're just kind of spending time with yourself. Yeah. And I feel like having a relationship with yourself is so important, particularly as you get older, because life just gets so hard. Yeah. It's so easy to get into the hustle and bustle of work and, following what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to get a job and you're supposed to get married and you're supposed to have kids and you're supposed to do all these things. And when you're by yourself, you don't have to do any of that. There's nobody who's looking at you making an expectation. Yeah. And so I feel like when I'm by myself and I'm in my own space and I can have a dance party, just crank the tunes up and dance in my house and go get myself a coffee or go on a walk. Like being by myself really makes you feel super emboldened. Yeah. In a way that I think is different than when you're out with your friends. Yes. And I definitely feel like myself when I'm dancing, like there's an energy there where I grew up dancing. I competitively danced. I danced at Disney. Like it was my life. And there's a big bold that comes from there, but it's a curated bold.
I was going to say it's almost the same thing as gardening and baking. There's this meditative state of this is what I'm doing right now. And
nothing else
I heard
matters.
Somebody say the other day, be where your feet are.
Yes.
Right?
I love
where
that.
it's like, we're not thinking about what's coming. We're not worried about this. It's like, where are your feet right now?
Yes. And be present in this one moment.
Yes.
And that's such a unique experience that I don't think a lot of people get.
Yeah.
Especially with today with social media and our phones. And, growing up, we at times were forced to be by ourselves. We were
Right.
forced to entertain ourselves. We didn't have internet.
Right.
And it's such a unique experience to sit with yourself and just be present in whatever you're doing. And it feels so good. It's very fulfilling.
Yeah.
Like it fills your cup a little bit so that you can go have coffee and drinks with friends, or you can go and interact with the public. Like you have to refill what you put out.
I always use the phrase, love yourself more.
Mm-hmm.
And so bad that I'm going to say this, but I've come to hate that phrase. We might be cutting this part. But something that you just said, and this is a really fun, I'll bring this back around.
Okay.
We're on a ride, okay? Just now you said something. You said be in relationship with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me, that is such a better phrase. Loving yourself, people think it's just very like, ooh, look at me. I'm so hot. I look great in this outfit. I'm so funny. And it's like, it's so cliche and you hear it too much.
Yeah.
But when you say in a relationship with yourself, you think about the relationships you have, like with your mom or me with Travis or whatever, and you look at it and it's like the way that you care for each other, you take care of each other, you call them on their bullshit. Does this make sense? And it's like all of a sudden that relationship with yourself, that's what we're looking for.
Yes. And that's the hardest
one. It's not
one.
a fluffy love.
No.
It's a deep, nurturing, I know myself. I understand myself. I'm going to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And that comes with learning who you are and spending time with yourself.
And that's the hardest thing to do.
The hardest thing.
The hardest thing, because it's not about the cliche like, wow, I look good, and wow, I'm so smart, and wow, it's genuinely sitting still for a minute and just loving yourself and feeling your feelings and letting yourself just be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the hardest part.
So hard. Just thinking of your big, bold energy. Have you ever felt like you had to tone yourself down?
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
I think for me, something about me that everybody knows, I love fiercely. When I'm in a friendship, a relationship, even if we're acquaintances at work, I will go to war for my people. I will do anything. I will protect them. I will love them. I will show up for them. I would do anything. But when I'm in a romantic relationship, I shrink myself down and I wall myself off. And it's a fear of getting hurt. It's a fear of intimacy. It's a fear of putting myself in a position where I'm no longer in control.
Yeah.
And that's so scary for me. And so in relationships, I find myself really shrinking myself.
Yeah.
And not saying what I need.
Which is so opposite.
I know. It's very shocking that people see me. And it's interesting because my biggest struggle is my self-worth. I really struggle with my self-worth. I am so good at looking at someone and saying, you are worth it. You are worth more. You deserve better. How dare you accept XYZ disrespect or, whatever's going on. I'm so good at that. And then when it comes to me, I'm not good at knowing my self-worth in a moment. I look back and I go, what am I doing?
Yeah.
That was so stupid. I deserve better than that.
Yeah.
And in the moment, I really, really do shrink myself. And it's shocking because I put out this big, boisterous, bold, happy, exuberant front. And then on the inside with a relationship, I'm like, no, it's okay. I don't mind. You do you. I'll just take care of you in the background. And that's so not okay.
Yeah.
Because it just gets you walked on.
Right.
It just gets you taken advantage of. It just gets you in a position where all of a sudden your needs are not being met.
Yeah.
And so the hardest thing is to say, hey, you know what? I'm not okay with this. I have to take up space. I have to stop accepting this treatment that you're giving me. I have to stop just caretaking.
Yeah.
Because if Paige is pouring out, Paige needs something pouring in.
Yes.
And if nothing else is pouring in, I'm going to get worn up.
Yeah, you're going to be drained.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Walked on, flat as a pancake, with no energy to pick myself back up. So I think the one time that I do shrink myself is when it comes to relationships, and we're working on it. That's why we go to therapy.
Well, and recognizing it is always the first step, right?
Exactly.
It's like once you realize what problem you're having, you catch it. You're like, ooh, dang it, I can't be doing that. And unfortunately, once we realize that it's something that we've been doing for years, you have to constantly fight it.
You have to constantly fight it. It's a strong muscle.
Yeah, it has to be. It's something that you're just over and over going to have to say, oh, did it again. We got to go back this way.
Shoot.
I want to talk about taking up space.
Okay.
Because just like loving yourself, sometimes I roll my eyes at this freaking phrase, right? Because I think that it doesn't necessarily explain what we're talking about.
Right.
And you already started talking about this. What does taking up space mean to you? And I wrote a few more down too, because I feel like these align with taking up space, but they go deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Stop shrinking.
Mm-hmm.
Let yourself be seen. Own who you are. Be fully yourself. So when you think of all of those things, like what would you say taking up space means to you?
I think it means being your authentic self everywhere.
Yeah.
I think it means showing up as the person that you are, not the person that you feel like the world thinks you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I think particularly as women, we have so many conflicting pieces of, whether you want to call it advice or ideology or whatever. There's so much conflicting information that tells you, well, if you're a woman, you should want this. You should want babies. You should want to be a stay-at-home mom. You should want a career, and we as women have lived in a society where we've had to take up space. We've had to purposefully open the door and walk in and say, I'm here and I deserve to be here and deal with it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, just being your most authentic self for everybody. And that includes, me being in relationships and not shrinking myself.
Yeah.
I owe that to myself.
Yes, absolutely.
I owe that to even the person that I'm with. They deserve to see Paige as Paige.
Well, especially because the person that you're with probably was attracted to you because Paige is Paige.
Because Paige is Paige, exactly. Like there's a big part of that that's missing when you shrink yourself down and you don't take up space. We're supposed to take up space.
Yes.
This is not a world where you're not allowed to take up space. You can take up space. We have so many different spaces too, especially you have TikTok, you have Instagram and all the social medias, you have where you work, you have your home life, there's spaces that you are meant to fill and you should fill them.
Yeah.
And you have to be your most authentic self. You have to sit with yourself, have that relationship with yourself. And then when you walk into a room, you're confident in being yourself.
Yeah.
And that's so important because, when you are in a situation where you're like, well, I'm 18, I should get married or I should want kids. And for some reason, I don't want that. For some reason in my heart, it doesn't feel right. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to say, you know what? I want to be a CEO and go be that CEO.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, I really want to just be a homeowner and I want to build this beautiful little house and have my kids and just be the best mom that's out there. That's okay too.
Yeah.
There's so many options and there's no wrong answer. And you have to be willing to just take up that space and make it your own and be authentic to yourself. It's just one of those things where you don't need to be the most confident person in the room.
Right.
You don't need to walk into a room and own it. If that's not your personality, if that's not what makes you comfortable, don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that because you're just going to tire yourself out. You're not going to feel good about it.
Yeah.
But if you walk into a room and you say, I see Adina in the corner and I want to go talk to her.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. That's taking up space for yourself of, I would like to go sit next to Adina.
Yeah.
I would like to go have a conversation with her. And if it's just this private little conversation, you're still taking up space. It's the authentic space for you.
Yes.
And that's the best way to do it.
I feel like I have a visual.
Okay.
It might not make any sense once I say it out loud, but I'm seeing it in my head. So I'm going to say it out loud. This is the visual that I'm seeing. How do I explain this? So taking up space, right? Us as a human, we have wants and needs, personality, just thinking of who you are, yourself to the core, getting to know yourself and being that person. Okay. Let's just say we're like these like bubbles, not a bubble though, because we're not going to pop. Okay. We're like a sphere aura. Okay. Okay. And just hanging there. The other option are the boxes that we get put in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now you're taking yourself, and we have this pretty, for some reason it's rainbow in my head.
It's like Glinda's
It is. It's like this
bubble thing.
And we just move around and we take up space.
Yes.
And then we put ourselves in a box.
Right.
God, and it's an ugly box. Why is it so ugly when I imagine it?
Dark.
It is. Right. So you took this like beautiful human being and you're like, this is who I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you put yourself in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Now that box is moving around a room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the two, when you watch this one move around the room versus the box, they move very differently.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so if you're living in a box and I'm living my fullest and I approach you, your box is going to kind of touch my bubble.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, that's kind of nice.
This is cool.
Right. But you're like, hi. So like,
Help me.
But then I imagine as women, as we step into this and know ourselves, have this relationship with ourselves, we listen to ourselves and we do take up space. We're walking into the space and we're overlapping.
Yes.
And we're all just, like you said, we're inviting each other into each other's spaces and no one is left out of it.
Mm-hmm.
No one is less than.
No, never.
Because someone else came in with a bubble.
Right.
Right? Like we all have, there's room for every single one of us.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, when I think of all the boxes walking in, there's not really room for it. Does that make sense? It's just such a different visual of like two different ways to live.
Yeah. Well, I think the cool thing with your visual is that like a bubble, it moves, right? It's kind of flexible and can kind of absorb what's around it. Sometimes you see one bubble touch another bubble and it opens and all of a sudden it's bigger.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point, is that you have all these bubbles that are just touching each other and they're getting bigger.
Yeah.
And so when you're all in that space and you're all taking up space, it's this giant bubble that you're in and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Boxes don't do that.
Right.
They just stack.
Yeah.
And so then you just have this overlapping stack and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and taller and taller and taller. And you're just looking at it like, oh my God, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
You know, if you've ever moved and you see all of your boxes and you're like, I don't want to touch that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in there. Well, I'm not doing that.
It's funny. I actually can like think of specific scenarios where I was in rooms with women who were really just there for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like that.
Yeah.
It felt very rigid.
Mm-hmm.
It felt very, they're looking outside their box. They're not inviting anyone into their bubble.
No.
But it's just very different. When I had an open house one time, I remember which one it was. It was upstairs. I had a client who came to the open house. She was already booked, right? She had her shoot coming up. She came to the open house. And so I met her for the first time there, but we had our planning meeting a day or so later.
Right.
So I was like, okay, see you tomorrow or whatever. And just to explain what was happening at an open house, a lot of people that are there have shot with me.
Mm-hmm.
The energy is very high.
Very high.
I saw your picture, or like,
way.
I mean, it's so much fun. And
they usually give us little gifts.
Yeah.
You know, there's like a wall of everybody's different shoots. So it's looking at different people in a very different light. You know, it's like seeing someone who might be like, you know, dressed kind of down and just kind of casual, comfy. And then you see this photo of her and you're like, whoa,
right.
That's you? Like, holy
and
crap.
they just glow because they're so proud that that's them.
Exactly.
So
it's amazing.
Yeah. So the energy in an open house is just so much fun. So she leaves. She comes back for her planning meeting and she sits down and I was like, so like, did you have fun? Like, how'd you feel at the open house? And she's like, I have to admit that was really intimidating. And I was like, intimidating? And I was like, that is the last thing that we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like the women that are here we all want you to come with us.
Yes.
But I had never thought about it before. She was like, when I walked in, I realized I had never been in a room with so many confident women.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, guess what? You're invited to the club.
Join us.
Yeah. And she's
it's
like,
really nice.
She's like, that's actually really exciting. I'm like, so I get it from the outside. Like you might walk in and that might seem really scary.
Mm-hmm.
But then as you grow into yourself, you realize when the box walks into a room full of bubbles, they're like, this is weird.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's something missing.
What do I do?
But when a bubble walks into a room full of bubbles, it's so beautiful.
It's so fun. There's nothing more just incredible than watching a woman come into her own.
Yeah.
Which you have the unique experience. You get to do that all the time.
Oh, it's so
like
great.
They get their hair done, their makeup done. You take that first photo, and usually the first photo is a little nervous. Like
Sure.
I've been there for so many shoots at this point that usually that first maybe outfit is a little bit stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start showing them their pictures and they're like, whoa, like this is that's me. That's so cool. And you see them just kind of relax and you see the bubble come. You see the box go away and the bubble shows up and by the end of it, they're posing, they're smiling, they're giggling, they're having the best time. And it's such a cool experience. There's nothing like watching a woman come into herself and watching her walk into a room and own that space in her most authentic way.
Yeah.
And it is contagious. Back to the beginning of what you said, it's so contagious. You're like, I want that.
Yeah.
I want to do that. That's incredible. I want to be in her presence. I want to share that energy. I want to just experience it for myself.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. It's magical.
It really is so magical. It's so magical. And like you said, contagious. But some people really don't think they can get it.
True.
Some people feel like it's so out of reach. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, like, it mid-shoot, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. I'm like, what do you mean it worked? It's like, well, you say this, but I didn't think for me it was going to work. And I'm like,
what? Time and time again, I keep telling you all.
You're not that special. Just kidding. Just kidding. Flip that. You are that special.
You're just like every other woman. It's a lie. Don't tell yourself that.
Oh my gosh.
But you can be powerful and open and take up space and confident.
Yeah.
Everyone's capable of that.
Yes. It's just, it's finding those practical steps to get there, which I feel like I'm loving about this podcast, literally practical steps. And you don't even realize as you're doing it, what's happening. Your bubble is growing.
Yeah.
I wish we could see it.
Yeah.
Because then it would be
so
like,
cool.
oh, it's working. And it's like, no, it is a ripple effect. Like leaning into yourself, learning about yourself, investing in yourself, all of these things we're talking about. It's this ripple effect that you'll see it.
Oh yeah. And you feel it.
And you have to pay attention.
Yes.
And do we have any client stories that kind of go with this? People who were fun to watch come out of their shell without using memes. Do you have any that you have seen?
There's so many.
I had a client come to me. She was pretty young. I want to say she was one of my youngest clients. Obviously, everybody, she was over 18. I think maybe she was 19 or 20. No. She had just turned 21.
Oh.
Because I remember I was able to offer her a mimosa.
We could offer her some alcohol.
I was like, do you want? She was like, I just turned 21. And I was like, anyway, so she was 21. And she grew up in a very conservative home. She told me at her planning meeting that sexuality was something that was never explained to her. She was never invited into it. It was bad. It was just everything about it was negative. So for her to come to me and do this shoot, she was very nervous, but she also knew she wanted that for herself. And she thought, if I go do the shoot, then maybe I'll understand more about my sexuality. And it was a beautiful shoot. She brought great outfits. We had so much fun. There definitely was like a out of the box, which she was already coming out of the box, but bubble like moment for sure. And she's just on this high. At our planning meeting, I always talk about nudity. So you have the option of staying in your outfits or doing implied nude, which means you're like in sheets or it's like silhouetted. It's like she's not wearing anything, but she's also not showing anything. And then I leave time at the end that if they want to do nudes, they can. And so I always say it at the planning meeting because I'm planting a little seed. So for most people, we're like, probably not that. And I'm like, okay.
You'll change your mind, but okay.
And so we get to the end of her shoot and we did shoot in the sheets. So very like implied, whatever. And her energy was just so much fun. She's laying there in the bed and I show her one of her pictures and she's just like, I just can't believe like that's me. She's like getting it. She's understanding.
Yes.
And I was like, so do you want to do some nudes? And she was like, I think I do.
Yeah.
And I was like, throw the sheet. And she literally set up and threw the sheet.
Yes. I was like, so much.
It was like such a fun moment of like meeting her at the beginning and imagining. And that's one of the things that I think I wish I could show people. When I meet them, I wish I could just like go peek and let them see what happens at the end, which then they probably go running, right? So it's probably good. They have to ride the ride to get to the
you
end of it.
You almost want to bottle the emotion. Like you want, like you just want to open the bottle and be like, see this feeling?
Feel it.
It's so cool.
Because if you see it, you're going to run away from me.
Right.
But like,
but such a cool thing that like her literally throwing the sheet is such a like symbolic moment.
Yeah.
She literally threw down the box. She threw down the cover. She threw down the door.
Yep.
That was like, screw it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Let's do nudes.
Yes.
I want to do it.
Oh,
my energy is there. Let's go. And you're like,
Yes.
There's so many, and all of them have such unique stories, which I think is amazing. Like, you had that dancer that came in and she had 3 phases of her shoot that she wanted you to, you just let her dance.
Yep.
And you just said, let me just take these photos. And it was so emotional and so beautiful. And whatever she had been through was just coming out on that floor in whatever she was wearing. I love the way that those photos turned out.
Yeah.
With a dancer, like, their bodies are strong and flexible and they do things that most of your clients probably can't do.
Right.
But it still showed such strength. And it's another example of a woman taking up space in her most authentic way.
Yes.
Which is dancing.
Yes.
And then you have people who, may come in for their wedding gift. And for them, that's the most authentic, is I'm getting married and I want to remember this time in my life in these beautiful photos. Yeah, I give it to my future husband. It's mostly for me, though. You know, it's different for every client. And there's so many of them that it's hard to pick out one that you're like.
I know. It's just so good. I think when we think taking up space, if we're not there yet, you think of it negatively. Like, what comes from me taking up space? I'm going to make people uncomfortable. I'm going to ruffle feathers. I'm going to, whatever it is that has stopped you from taking up space, right? Where what we're saying is, when you take up space, it's healing.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many pieces of it that are so powerful.
It's freeing.
It is.
It's freeing.
It's so cool. And I think for the people who aren't there, they think negatively of it. And it's like, just give us a second. We just got to pull that back.
Let me show you.
We got to pull that back.
It's almost like you turn around that camera and it's like, look at you. Like, I'm showing you taking up space.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't see themselves in that way. Because,
you're right. Yeah.
We have AI and photo editing and social media is so curated.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be tall, blonde with perfect ass and big boobs and perfect teeth. And that's just not reality. And so when you look at someone taking up space who does look like that, you do see it negatively.
Yeah.
And it like puts this little pit of unrest in you because you're like, that's what I'm supposed to look like.
Yeah.
But we're not supposed to look like anything.
Right.
You're just supposed to be your authentic self. So when you turn the camera around, you're like, this is you.
Yeah.
This is you taking up that space. It's so special.
Well, and it kind of aligns with, like, when you go to college and you make these decisions for yourself. When you come in for a shoot with me, again, it could be for somebody, but in that moment, that is for you. So the space you're taking up literally is just for you. Tell me, what would you say to the woman who feels like she's too much?
To the woman that feels that she's too much, you're not. I mean, plain and simple, you're not.
Yeah.
There are people in the world that tend to just be really negative.
Yeah.
Or they've really put themselves in a box. And unfortunately, for some people, coming out of that box feels impossible. And so if someone around them feels like too much, that's a personal thing for them. That person is just not the right person for you in whatever capacity they show up, whether it's a friend, an acquaintance, a worker, a boyfriend, doesn't matter. If they say you're too much, that's okay. Yeah. I'm going to go live my life over here and take up the space that I feel is most authentic to me. And you can take up the space over there. And it might be smaller. Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We all have different breadths of energy.
Yeah.
I think being too much is mostly just an indicator that maybe you're not in the right environment.
Yeah.
The environment around you is just not the right one.
Yeah.
And there is an environment that is right for you.
Yes.
And when you find that space and you get into it and you open yourself and the bubble gets bigger.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
And I think all of that can be said, too, for the woman who thinks she's not enough.
Exactly.
Right? It's the same thing. It's where you are. It's not who you are.
Exactly. It's just being in the right environment, which, again, you have to try them all.
Right.
You're going to show up to some spaces and say, this is not for me. And you'll show up to another space and think, oh my God, I love this. And that can be pottery class. That can be sitting in your house reading. That can be having a girls' night. That can be going to a bar and dancing your ass off. Like, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But you have to try it all.
Yeah.
And figure it out.
Yeah.
You have to try.
And the piece of advice that you give us first is with yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Sit down with yourself.
Yeah. Spending time with yourself. What's one way that women are shrinking themselves without even realizing it?
Like I said earlier, I shrink myself in relationships.
Yeah.
And that's something that I didn't know about. It wasn't something that I knew I was doing.
How'd you figure that out?
Well, I got out of a relationship a bad one.
Yeah.
And you look back on it, and I just realized I have given so much to this person.
Yeah.
I have shown up for them in every way I can imagine. I have supported them. I have been there for them. I have done acts of service because that's how I show love and that's how I receive love. And I've gotten nothing back.
Yeah.
Why am I doing that to myself? Why am I depleting myself? And after that relationship was when I first got into therapy and just started talking about, why am I putting myself through that?
Yeah.
Why am I in that space? And my therapist really, said it's so common that women do this. It is so common to get into a space with somebody that you really, really, really like and shrink because you want that person to stay.
Yeah.
You don't want to do something that would cause them to not like you or to think you're too much or to think that, oh, this isn't the right fit for me and I'm going to go. You want to shrink yourself. But what you said earlier is that that person is probably there because of who they met when you took up that space.
Right.
So when you shrink, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
But it's easy to do because we all want to be liked so badly.
Yeah.
We want community. We all want to be liked and loved. We want that connection. And sometimes if we sacrifice certain parts of ourselves to be amiable to whatever somebody else wants, you think that you're doing the right thing and you're not. You're just doing a disservice. You're just going to end up unhappy. And so when I got out of that relationship, I started therapy and I'm looking at it. And I can't argue with myself that I really did a number on myself.
Yeah.
Because when you come out of that relationship, you're a shell of what you were.
Yeah.
And then you have to fight to get yourself back to me as my most authentic self. And you shouldn't lose that. And so I think for women, I think we do have a tendency to shrink ourselves in relationships. And I think we have a tendency to shrink ourselves in jobs too.
Mm-hmm.
I think partially because we are in a patriarchal society as much as we don't want to be.
Yeah.
And we are almost told a lot of the time, you're supposed to be in XYZ role, or you're not supposed to be the chief technology officer. That's a man's job.
Yeah.
And even though in 2026, we're not telling women that's a man's job.
No, it's not being said out loud.
It's not being said out loud, but it is a male-dominated field. And a woman coming in there, you go, wow. There's people in there that go, you're not a CTO.
Yeah.
And to be clear, everybody, I'm not a CTO.
Not claiming to be one.
I'm not claiming to be one. However, I do know a woman who is a CTO and she is powerful. She is so confident in her abilities. And it's so cool to see her in a room full of men and say, I'm the boss.
Yeah.
I earned my way here. Respect me or get out.
Yeah.
And that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I want that for every woman. And that doesn't mean walk into your office and be like, I am now the CTO.
Because I'm a woman and I take up space.
Exactly. Don't do that.
I'm not doing that.
I don't want you to do that. However, my friends and I talk about this a lot. And something that's so attractive in people is quiet confidence.
Yes.
It's so enticing to just see a person in a room who may be super rich. You might not know. Right. May be super successful. Maybe not. Maybe a cashier at a grocery store and has a quiet confidence about them that you just look at them and you go, damn,
right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's attractive.
Yes.
I love that about that person. And so the experience really being, this is kind of I've made many points about this question that don't align, but it's okay.
We come back to it eventually.
The point is that there's aspects, I think, in life, multiple aspects that women shrink themselves.
Yeah.
Whether that's career or relationships or whatever it is that's going on in your personal life where you're like, why am I feeling so small?
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than being that quiet, confident
yeah.
person that says, I've got this.
So I do think it would be a fun challenge to imagine ourselves as this bubble,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I think even as you talked about shrinking ourselves doesn't necessarily mean that we're putting ourselves in a box.
No.
It's not that restrictive. But this way of like, we're all supposed to take up this space. And if me and you come in with these bubbles like this and we overlap, we're just so happy. And then we come together next time and you've been in a relationship where you've shrunk, I'm kind of like, I'm missing
Come
Paige.
back to me.
Like I'm missing a piece of Paige
Mhm.
because she's shrunk.
Mhm.
And like you can imagine that. And don't get me wrong, there are things that we're going to go through in life where we don't show up as our full self just because we
Absolutely.
can't. But like those moments of I've let myself lose something.
Yeah.
I've let myself lose a piece of me.
Right.
And like you said, we have to fight to get her back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You have to almost go and touch another bubble to get it to, because the bubble now, you still have a bubble, but it's dim.
Yeah.
It's not as shiny,
Yeah.
not as rainbowy.
You can grow it from here and you can also grow it from here.
Exactly. There's different ways to like feed into that, but it's feeding into
write a
you.
Book. We're going to write a book about this.
About being in a relationship with yourself.
About a bubble.
Yes.
It's not a bubble though, because it doesn't pop. I don't know.
It's a very special magical bubble.
It's a magical bubble. So episode 6, we talked about discovering who you are.
Mm-hmm.
We are starting to see who we are.
Yes.
And episode 7, taking up space, it's starting to let ourselves be her.
Yeah.
Right? When you get to know someone, you're like, wow. But then like saying, that's who I get to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that almost a disconnect of get to know her and then step into her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a really cool, like, take up the space.
Do
man.
it. Just
take up the space.
do it. That was magical.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're amazing. It's kind of funny. As I was finishing up this episode, I realized in the first episode, we talked about a bubble. And now here we are near the end, and we came back around to it. It's a different kind of bubble this time, but I think it still feels familiar. Okay, just a little follow-up on some of the things we talked about. First of all, I realized during our whole interview, Paige was literally right there. Do you see her back there? She really has done so many shoots with me, and I enjoy her in front of my camera so much. I would definitely call her one of my muses, these people who I just like attach onto, and I love to get them in front of my camera. So yes, she's on a lot of my flyers and website and Instagram. So if you recognize her, that's why. We sat and talked after the interview, and I think that we came up to 14 shoots. Are you kidding me? 14 times she has been in front of my camera. Some of those were professional shoots, boudoir or headshots, or like she said, she was a dancer. Some of those were when her and her best friend came in and did these bestie bundles for me, or modeled for this really cool body jewelry. And some of them were just, hey, can you bring a bra and panty set? Because I got a new camera and I can't figure it out. And even as I was thinking about that, Paige introduces herself talking about how she's in HR. Here we are having conversations about madams and ladies, and your boss is asking you to bring lingerie to work. So I'm really glad that she loves me as much as I love her. Let's dive into our song suggestion for the week. I'm realizing as we are coming to a close that I really only have introduced you to a couple of people because these songs line up so well with what we're doing. And typically the artists are the ones who are like, I'm on this journey too. Today's song suggestion is Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. It's a song you've probably heard, but I want you to go spend some time with it. Actually, not too long ago, I looked up an interview of her talking about this song, and it just like lit my soul on fire. I think this song is perfect for this episode because birds of a feather, we stick together, right? The bubbles, we're pulling each other along. But my favorite part of this song is in the second verse, and it aligns so much with what I do with women in Blush and Tease. She says, I want you to see how you look to me. You wouldn't believe if I told you. You would keep the compliments I throw you. So go spend some time with that song, Billie Eilish, Birds of a Feather. It's got such a vibe to it. It's literally one of my favorite songs when it comes on. It's blasted. I love it so much. Thank you for going on this wild ride with me. I did not go into that interview intending to talk about bubbles and boxes. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a visual that you can understand. And I hope that you feel permission to really live into your bubble. We want you here. We want you to take up that space. When women are fully themselves, it's not rigid and it's not forced, right? Like imagine your bubble. It's fluid. It's like we're all just moving through the world as we are, taking up space, existing, connected. And when we don't allow ourselves to do that, when we shrink or we try to fit into boxes that were never meant for us, it feels off. And you can feel it in a room. You can feel when a woman is being fully herself, like willing to be seen, knowing that her bubble deserves to take up space. And you can also feel it when people are holding back. When you shrink yourself, that room is missing you. So maybe that's the question that we sit with this week. Where am I holding back? And what would it look like to let myself take up just a little more space? You don't have to go all in at once, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I must say that for the recovering perfectionists. Let's just look for those moments that we can be honest with ourselves, and then let's let other people into it. Let's take up space. See you next time for episode number 8, the last one of the series. Can you believe we're here? Bye for now.